Alrighty, so we're back with the beginning of part 3 here. One minor detail is these little oval holes you have to make, which is definitely another easier said than done. So these hold the little clip that holds the interior panel here. So I'll show you how I've done these because it might save you some extreme headache because it's hard to make a hot dog shaped hole. So I've traced where the holes need to be by putting the old panel on top, also measuring the distance in there so it sits right. These are oval, so the clip, as you see there, actually has some play left and right. So as far as forward and backwards, doesn't have to be 100%, but it should just work out anyway. Definitely want the gap in there right so the panel sits properly. So what I did was drill some pilot holes, then some bigger holes, the exact diameter of the oval hole. And then I go in and with a carbide bit on a die grinder, turn it into an oval hole. And then you get the end result there. So we're trying to mimic those guys. That's it. So yeah, the Subie savers don't come with these holes, so that's a DIY project. And then just pop all your clips back in and send her. Alright, so we got our first coat on. It's had a lot of Bondo on it to begin with, so we really gotta layer it up to get into the dimensions. But that's a start anyway. So some transitions and all the little spots, and then as we go along we're finding some more metal that needs to be knocked down, and we got all our little hot dog shaped holes done and cruising along. Few coats of body filler on her now. It's starting to come together. There's nothing fun about doing this. It's, you know, pretty much coat it, sand it, and keep filling in any blemishes or inconsistencies till you get your line right. But yeah, some good progress. So we worked on that all day. This is probably the third coat. So then we keep sanding this down with a really rough sandpaper to at least get the shape down, and then we work into some finer stuff to get it smooth and ready for paint. And we got one of the doors prepped because it was yellow, so we had to take it all apart, do the jams and stuff like that too, so it doesn't look silly. And then just started on another door, and we'll resume tomorrow. And we're back at the end of the next day, so we got a few more coats of filler on there, and a little hit of primer to kind of see how we're sitting. It's coming along. We're just throwing the bumper on and off to make sure we got our lines looking good. So there's still a few little spots to tune up, some more spots to add some more filler, but the primer really helps kind of bring out any of the little blemishes. And then Robert's got one door prepped.
Don't look, I'm changing.
He's got two door nearly prepped, and third door nearly prepped. Not bad. Alright, so Rob's working on some door prep fixing here. Common spot to rust is under the mirror, so he's chopped it out, made a super sleek little patch, welded in, and some body filler on top, and send it.
Friggin' right.
And then some of the progress on the quarter to rocker merge here. The red stuff is some spot putty for some little inconsistencies. So once that dries, it can take another sand and then another coat of the high build primer, and that probably is it for preparation of the rockers. Anyone that doesn't have the spot putty is already good. So it's just little edges we found and stuff like that, or dips and whatnot. And then I think we're into like coat 5 or 6 on the quarter panels, just trying to get them all nice and straight, fill any low spots and knock down high spots, and carry on.
What are you holding in your hand?
He's a professional painter. This is why I use this. Professionals stick together.
Alright, so we're not even sure what day of sanding we're into. Possibly the end of day 3. Rocker bits are done. Quarter panel is likely done. This is just some primer again. So we're going into a darker color because the car is black, so it just makes it easier to cover. We had to do some taillight reshaping. So that will just take a little bit of sanding on the spot putty, and that's good. And then this car, like you saw earlier in the video, was rear-ended pretty hard, so it had some crazy Bondo buildup that was starting to crack because of rust underneath. So we've taken that down. We can do a few coats of rust converter, fill it back in, and carry on. And then we got the only rust-free panel on the car, the plastic spoiler. So that is almost prepped for paint. Working on the hood, which was also in a bit of a front-end accident. So whereas here, normally they're curved, this kind of was like a 90-degree angle. So we bent it back out, and then now we're just kind of soothing the curve with some spot putty. And then I think we got all the doors prepped for paint. So a little patch that was welded in, looking good.
No, that's the level.
Oh, decoy. Yeah. You'd never know, that's how sweet it is. That one all prepped, and then we got our donor fender and his one, it's not even original, it was white underneath the other fender. So the only original panels left on this car now will be the roof.
And even that has a rust bubble.
Yeah, so we still got to work on the roof, but yeah, so the roof is all original metal. All right, so day 4 of body prep. So this is a donor fender because his original fender was super bad. This one's great condition, no rust, but some little, dent blemishes here and there. So sorting those out, and then I was gonna show you what the roof looks like prior to starting. So some very typical stone chip rust starting. This is one of the better roofs I've seen. But again, it was probably already repainted, so we'll find out once we cut into those and clean them up. Our quarters are coming along. They're starting to look real good. Moving along to the other side. Got that all fixed up. Then we had this big cut we had to make in there, so that is so far 2 coats of body filler, and we just gotta fine tune the line, which is getting pretty close. There's a little spot under there that I'd say is probably good. It looks nice. Yeah, making gains. And then Rob's just started on the second fender, which did come attached to this car, but also wasn't the original fender either. But it's not too bad. It pretty much just needs a good sand. back and the car is all taped up now. So just about ready to paint it. So this is like a 3M paint sheet. It works really good. It is nice to use compared to some conventional plastic because it's kind of got a tack to it. So when you spray your base coat and then go to spray your clear, your base coat won't flake off of this and land into your clear, which we learned about using alternative plastics. So this stuff does work really good. So now I've got to go over the car, wipe off all my fingerprints, tack it all down with a tack cloth and spray away. So I'll probably do 3 coats of base and then probably 4 coats of clear so that it's, you know, decently thick in case it gets any blemishes that we need to, you know, cut and polish out. But that's it. Exciting to be starting to make this car one color again and with all sorts of things it didn't have before, like these. So I've gone over a lot of the sand colored primer with the darker primer just because the car is going to be black, so it just kind of helps you achieve your color faster by having a darker primer on there. So all the moldings are off, the trim along the top of the windshield, and then the molding around the front windshield. For that we kind of pry it back with our fingers and then get the tape deep down in there and fold it over really tight, so then your paint and clear will go, you know, way beyond the actual windshield molding, and it will give you a really good end result. Alright, we got some base coat on her. It's looking okay, as good as you know, a dirty shop paint job can be. Yeah, so before clear, which I'll do tomorrow morning, I'll go over this, check for any debris that landed in it. You can get away with very minor fixing of your base coat. Kind of what you lay is what you get often. But yeah, you can at least go over it with some really fine sandpaper to pull out anything that's really popping up. Yeah, this didn't turn out too bad. It looks pretty uniform. So yeah, so we'll see how she looks after some clear. Alright, we're back. We've got 4 coats of clear on it. It turned out as good as can be expected. You know, the odd bit of debris and whatnot in the clear coat, but nothing that a cut and polish can't fix. So far I have not found any runs, which is always a bonus. I think this has been sitting for a little over an hour now. But yeah, it looks good. I mean, now there's bright shiny car where there used to be no car, so that is a win right there. Alright, so it's the next day. Our clear has had some more time to cure. So what I've done before putting all these little clips back in for the interior trim is filled all these holes from every angle you can. Like this car had some holes drilled for rust proofing, so we'll put new plugs in those. But all of these guys, all these side holes, just flood them with oil. Just flood them. And as I was saying before about my windshield taping method, like this turns out so good you'd have thought we took the windshield out. So not a speck of paint on it. And if you pull the molding back, you'll see the paint and clear coat. Well, it's pretty tricky to pull back. Paint and clear coat go past the molding, so super nice job. Alright, so we got all the pieces laid out here. I've gone over each one with some water and light soap and washed them down from handling them. Then I've gone over again and wiped them nice and dry with a microfiber. And then before I actually spray, I gotta go over them one more time with a tack cloth. And then yeah, we're painting the base. I don't totally have enough room to fit all the things I gotta paint, so I've got these two guys here that are all washed and ready to go. So once I'll start with the skirts, get the base on those, and then I'll switch out the skirts towards the end for the other pieces. I'll just show you something here. Off camera, I got the underside of the trunk done because it was blue. The trunk we dropped was just a skit. It was a total rust bucket. The seams there were like rusting through, so there's not much you can do. So this is a replacement trunk. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, the paint turned out super sweet under the dust. So that's it. So yeah, tack everything off and then paint down. got 3 coats of the base color on all the parts here. Looking good. I've tapped them all off now again. These were the yellow doors, so they're not yellow anymore. See some yellow in there. The rest of the panels. So now we're ready for clear. You can see I've utilized my hoist here as a hanging zone. So these were the yellow door handles. These were silver. And then these were original off the car. These are some little splat guys. Gonna be tricky to do the clear coat because doing the base coat, I did the skirts first. And then I put the skirts aside and then did the hood scoop and then the rear little valance. But clear coat you can't exactly handle, you know, 20 minutes after like you can a base coat. All right, and we are back. Everything has been clear coated. It's definitely a long day, probably almost solid 12 hours start to finish to paint this all and clear it all. Yeah, it looks really good. Ended up doing 4 coats of clear on everything. So it's nice and thick in case you've got to cut and polish any, you know, runs or stuff that got stuck in it. So these were the back doors. So these were yellow. So we got all the jams underneath. It's super nice. And then the front doors. Yeah, everything turned out pretty good. I don't see any runs yet. Very, very minimal orange peel. But again, with the clear coat going on this thick, you've got lots of room to cut and polish if desired. There's the shrunk. Okay, the Bug is all assembled now. So the next step is we're gonna let it marinate a little bit, and then we're gonna get into polishing it. But I mean, even as it sits, it's got crazy dust on it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a rinse outside, and then just let it chill for a bit. And then we're gonna get into the polishing of this car, and that's it. She's on her way home. So all these puddles that you see are from flooding the doors with oil, flooding the rockers, the quarter panels, all the channels. We even did all the floor inside, so this guy is going to be well preserved, but nice looking jams there. Yeah, this car turned out super nice. We're really happy with it. The owner's come to check it out. He's really happy with it. And I mean, to us, the bumper was a throwaway, but we ended up bringing it back to life. We could not find a new bumper. We could not find a used bumper. We hit all sorts of wreckers, etc. We got nothing. We supplied him with this grill. He didn't have a grill. New fender, couple new doors, new trunk lid. But yeah, super happy with how it turned out. We even got I'll give you a quick demo here of the trunk is all painted on the inside as well. We didn't do any corner cutting. Turned out super nice. Every piece of trim and molding on this car was removed so that we got new paint everywhere. So yeah, she's looking good. And then look at this, another black Bugeye. So he is here for the same thing, quarter panels and rockers. So because we just did a black Bugeye, we're not gonna film this one because I don't know, it won't be as exciting to see two of the exact same cars get the exact same thing done. So this guy we're in at probably 180 hours right now. It's probably gonna take 3 days to polish it. So probably looking at, you know, close to 200 hours all said and done on this car, but it does look fantastic. And around here, there is not many of these left in good condition. And this one had a great condition unibody. The front rad support had already been replaced. And you know, this guy will have a nice long lifespan with this car and keep repping the old school. So also when we polish it, we're gonna polish the headlights. His fog lights were all cracked. We put some yellow film on them to at least hold them together. Okay, we're back. I have given this car a rinse off to get the dust off, so it gives you an idea of what it looks like underneath. Definitely looks pretty good. We probably don't have too much work to do with the polisher. Yeah, not bad. I washed it in the shade to try and avoid the water spots. So then yeah, before we bring it in, which will be a couple weeks, I'll make another video on that when we bring it in for the final touches. Then we'll give it another rinse so it's all dust free, and then on to the polishing stage. But she does look good, super nice paint. Really cool color. This is the factory 0203 Midnight Black Pearl. It sure has a lot of it. Right, so there she is in all her glory. I don't know how well that shows up on my little camera screen here. It looks pretty dark. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, stay tuned for, I guess, the fourth part of the video. We'll probably give you a demo of our cut and polish process, and then the final product. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching the series, and stay tuned for more.